The Death of Cuchulain by William Butler Yeats. A man came slowly from the setting sun to Forgail's daughter Amer in her dun, and found her dyeing cloth with subtle care, and said, casting aside his draggled hair, I am Alil, the swineherd, whom you bid go dwell upon the sea cliffs, vapour hid, but now my years of watching are no more. Then Amer cast the web upon the floor, and stretching out her arms, red with the dye, parted her lips with a loud sudden cry. Looking on her, Alil, the swineherd, said, Not any god alive, nor mortal dead, has slain so mighty armies, so great kings, nor won the gold that now Cuchulain brings. Why do you tremble thus from feet to crown? Alil, the swineherd, wept, and cast him down upon the web-heaped floor, and thus his word. With him is one sweet-throated like a bird. Who bade you tell these things? And then she cried to those about, Beat him with thongs of hide, and drive him from the door. And thus it was, and where her son, Finmol, on the smooth grass was driving cattle, came she with swift feet, and called out to him, Son, it is not meet that you stay idling here with flocks and herds. I have long waited, mother, for those words, but wherefore now? There is a man to die. You have the heaviest arm under the sky. My father dwells among the sea-worn bands, and breaks the ridge of battle with his hands. Nay, you are taller than Cuchulain's son. He is the mightiest man in ship or dun. Nay, he is old and sad with many wars, and weary of the crash of battle cars. I only ask what way my journey lies, for God, who made you bitter, made you wise. The red branch kings a tireless banquet keep, where the sun falls into the western deep. Go there, and dwell on the green forest rim. But tell alone your name and house to him, whose blade compels, and bid them send you one, who has a like vow from their triple dun. Between the lavish shelter of a wood and the grey tide, the red branch multitude feasted, and with them old Cuchulain dwelt, and his young dear one close beside him knelt, and gazed upon the wisdom of his eyes, more mournful than the depth of starry skies, and pondered on the wonder of his days. And all around the harp string told his praise, and Concobar, the red branch king of kings, with his own fingers touched the brazen strings. At last Cuchulain spake, A young man strays, driving the deer along the woody ways. I often hear him singing to and fro, I often hear the sweet sound of his bow, seek out what man he is. One went and came. He bade me let all know he gives his name at the sword point, and bade me bring him one, who had a like vow from our triple dun. I only of the red branch hosted now, Cuchulain cried, have made and keep that vow. After short fighting in the leafy shade, he spake to the young man, Is there no maid who loves you, no white arms to wrap you round, or do you long for the dim, sleepy ground, that you come here to meet this ancient sword? The dooms of men are in God's hidden hoard. Your head awhile seemed like a woman's head, that I loved once. Again the fighting sped, but now the war rage in Cuchulain woke, and through the other's shield his long blade broke, and pierced him. Speak before your breath is done. I am Finmol, mighty Cuchulain's son. I put you from your pain, I can no more. While day its burden unto evening bore, with head bowed on his knees Cuchulain stayed. Then Concobar sent that sweet-throated maid, and she, to win him, his grey hair caressed. In vain her arms, in vain her soft white breast. Then Concobar, the subtlest of all men, ranking his druids round him 10 by 10, spake thus, Cuchulain will dwell there and brood for 3 days more in dreadful quietude, and then arise, and raving slay us all. Go, cast on him delusions magical, that he might fight the waves of the loud sea. And 10 by 10 under a quickened tree, the druids chaunted, swaying in their hands tall wands of alder and white quicken wands. In 3 days' time, Cuchulain with a moan stood up, and came to the long sands alone. For 4 days warred he with the bitter tide, and the waves flowed above him, and he died.